Hey guys, it's your girl Tubbi of the Nerdy Bird site, rocking with theantidote.com.
And it's your boy Bullet Jones, Real Profit Entertainment from Denham Springs, Louisiana.
Here we are, once again, thanks to theantidote.com, bringing you some live exclusive footage from my boy Bullet Jones. Now, a lot of you know him formerly as Randy Savage. We'll kind of talk to him about the name change, the new projects that are coming out, and all the things that he's anticipating for 2018. All right, Mr. Bullet Jones, let's kind of talk about how you got into music, how this became your passion, and at what point you knew that this was just what you had to do.
Well, I guess like music always been big to me, and like all kinds of music. And I'm like so passionate about music though, it's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna try not be long-winded.
Oh, you're fine.
But you know, I grew up at the younger age, listening to a lot of country music. That's what my mom, my dad listened to.
Right.
You know, my mom, a little pop music and stuff here and there, but for the most part, just like country music is what I grew up on. Then, when I was 8 years old, 7, 8 years old, I started seeing Pac and Big on MTV, stuff like that. And I remember specifically the first video I seen was the Hypnotized video.
Oh, nice.
With Biggie on the yacht and Puff driving the car backwards, and he just bouncing around smiling. They got the jewelry and the nice clothes, and I was just mesmerized. I was hypnotized.
Right, you're
like,
stuck.
For real. And so, you know, from there, that was kind of like my introduction to hip hop, and I was just totally in awe.
From there.
And, yeah, just from that video, just from the the music itself, it was just so different from everything I was used to. Then probably about 8 years old, I used to stay across the street from my elementary school, and I would go across the street and play basketball on the courts outside. And so one weekend I went across the street. I was walking, through the little field and the playground.
Through the little cut.
Found and came across a cassette tape, not no CD, cassette tape.
Throwback, y'all.
Picked it up, and it was Jay-Z Hard Knock Life album. I brought that home,
nice.
and I wore that tape out.
All the string came out of it.
That's all of it. And that was kind of like where I really got into hip hop. But hip hop and country music are still like
your big passion.
My big passions. Hip hop, I'm a nerd though, so it's like that's the number one thing.
Very nice. So it was more so exposure. You kind of, for the first time, were exposed to some of these bigger artists that kind of kicked down the doors and broke barriers.
Definitely.
And they made it known, hey, I know that you're not accepting this right now, but this is what it is.
Right.
And I think that confidence and that type of self-expression has built such great artists and the foundation for great artists in this generation. Now, I've experienced you live in a lot of situations. I've listened to a lot of your previous music that you've put out. I respect you as a conscious artist, but you also have this very cool way of tying in your experiences and telling your life story in a positive manner, but still keeping it real, like nothing is really sugar-coated. Your story kind of expresses the fact that life isn't easy, and it's not always easy on the means of racial lines or economics or even, financially speaking. And I always like to do this without, making it a racial issue. But growing up in Baton Rouge, you kind of see the differences, the ins and outs to the type of communities and the culture overall.
Right.
Do you find that it's easier to do what you're doing, being that certain communities accept you and others don't? Or is it a little bit harder? And we were talking about race. When you look at the people that look like you, do they accept and support what you're doing?
It's I would say yes and no.
Okay.
I feel like, first of all, I was born in Baton Rouge, but
Right.
I moved to Denham Springs when I was 10 years old. So I'm from Livingston Parish, which is a whole nother beast.
The whole world.
So especially as far as racial things and stuff like that, I feel like absolutely I get listens a lot faster from white people than I would if I weren't white.
Right.
As well. Yeah, but I think that sometimes my subject matter, not even necessarily my subject matter, but just my views. If I express my views too deeply in my music, it'll turn them off.
Gotcha.
Trump supporters and racists themselves, and anybody who just ain't comfortable.
Right.
People who just ain't comfortable with
The
me
truth.
keeping it real. Yeah, me just letting them know what it is. I've been able to see sides that a lot of people don't see,
Right.
Because of being around friends and just really investing myself into the culture because I don't want to be one of the people who just to use it for my own benefit.
Gotcha.
Like some people we know, but so I just
they're out there. You do have people that use that racial line, and again, I love and respect the fact that you take your racial barrier and you look at it and you go, okay, this is a challenge. I do have to work a little bit harder to be accepted in the original culture for hip hop.
Right.
I have to allow black people the opportunity to hear me first.
Right.
Because in a lot of cases, when they see me, it's kind of like, okay, what white boy about to do?
Right, exactly. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I even get skeptical of white rappers. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, the first time I'm like, all right, let me see what he's talking about. But no, I totally understand that. I make sure to, a couple years ago they had the big thing with Yellow Wolf and I'm drawing a blank. We know what we're talking about though. They, talking about the us being guests in hip hop and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm totally understanding of that. I appreciate the culture for what it is.
Right.
And man, I love hip hop. Like,
look,
straight up.
Hip hop loves you because you keep it real, and
right.
For you don't see color when you start talking. It's on the means of human race. It's on the means of experience. It's because being white doesn't mean that you have money or privilege. You kind of grew up in situations where poverty very much was a thing of reality for you as well.
Growing up, growing up, when I was young, before my mom remarried,
Gotcha.
It was tough at times. My grandparents never, and my mother as well, never allowed me to see that. Mm-hmm. But I know, now that I've been older and just conversations I've had, I know that, it was tough at times. After my mom remarried, when I was 10 years old or whatever, I didn't want for much. I didn't have, my stepdad is very conservative with his money, so I wasn't just no spoiled kid or nothing, but I had everything I needed,
right.
And but a lot of my experience of struggle and hard times comes from as an adult, just from since then, because I left my mom's house at 17.
Nice.
So
now, was there a specific reason? Is it just it's time for me to kind of do this on my own?
It was because I was me and my stepdad had a lot of problems, getting along.
Gotcha.
Mostly on my part, looking back on it now, and I just did some things that he just wasn't having. So I got sent to my dad's house for a while, and that didn't last long at all, because that's a whole nother long
story. A whole different world,
and
right?
It's a totally different world. But now I moved in with my aunt, and then I never lived back with my parents.
But I think that's cool too, though, because it kind of gives you that experience that you otherwise wouldn't be able to talk about.
Right, I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't go back and do it any different way. I'm always been the type of person that got to learn things the hard way.
Right.
So
experiencing it for yourself kind of makes it stick.
Right.
I think that's really cool, and again, you see a lot of those aspects pulled into your music and your storytelling. You let the world know, hey, life isn't always easy, but there's something that you can do to change it. And I think that that's what's really important. Now, I have always known you as Randy Savage,
right.
But recently we came into a name change.
Yes.
So let's kind of talk about how the transition from Randy Savage to Bullet Jones came into be, and why Bullet Jones was what you decided to kind of roll with.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to tell this story. All right.
Nice.
So Randy Savage. So when I first started rapping I first started writing rhymes probably 9th grade-ish. Mm-hmm. That would have been 2003 maybe.
Okay.
Then I didn't really start taking music, recording and taking music. I didn't start recording until probably, might have been after I graduated.
Nice, started taking it serious as you got a little bit older.
Yeah, and so when I started recording and I was showing people my music, they'd be like, okay, cool, but what's your rap name?
Right.
I didn't have no rap name. I was writing these bars. I didn't have hooks, and that Nappy Roo song. My first song was 48 bars with
just
no
bars.
hooks. And I was in the closet writing out my favorite notebook, all that shit. But no, I didn't have no name, so they was just all right. All my friends and everything was already calling me Randy Savage.
Yeah.
I was already, for different reasons, I had acquired that nickname. So they
help brand you there.
Yeah, they just continue to call me that. I just use that.
It's stuck.
Like a lot of people, like Boosie, that was a name he had before rap.
Right.
So, But then as I started taking music more seriously throughout the years, the name stayed the same. And then I went on a little hiatus, I guess you could say, trying to get my life together.
Her being a dad kind of changes things.
It changes a lot of things. Yeah, just trying to grow up.
Right.
Because I did, just trying to grow up. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Look, you say it's a lot I can talk about that, but we're gonna leave it right there.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it there. So, it was probably about 2 years ago now. I went to one of Marcel's Fade to Flows, and I stayed after just running it with him because I've known him for several years, and he was like, "So what's up, bro? Like when we getting more music? Like when you getting back into this thing? Whatever." I was like, "Man, I just don't know." Like I never once told anybody I quit. People were asking me all during the whole time, like when you get, man, soon. Coming out of retirement. Yeah, soon. Don't worry about it. I'm more music coming soon. Knowing I ain't have a damn thing recorded. So. I just sat there and, really just ran it with Marcel about it, and he was like, "Man, look, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, our conversation or whatever, but he told me, he was like, "Man, look, your voice is needed."
Right.
Dude really like sat there and recited like bars from songs that he had seen me perform like years before. And that's when I was like, and I've always respected him so much. Dope. So like, yeah, when he did that, and then he told me, he was like, "Yeah, your voice is needed. Like, it's not just you can come back. Like, you need to. Like, you need to come back." And so, that's when I really started plotting on that. And he introduced me to Joe, and we've been, we got our little situation together, and it's been since then. But as I came back, I was deciding like the Randy Savage thing, because I don't know if you know this, but if you go Google Randy Savage, you will not find one single rap bar. All you will find is wrestling matches. So I decided like, nah, I need to be found.
Something to focus.
Plus, since I've grown, I don't want the word savage to be like misinterpreted. And like, don't get it twisted. Like, but I don't want that to be like, I'm not 21 Savage.
Right.
And
he said he bought that life.
Nothing like that.
22 Savage.
Well, yeah, I'm not that either. I'm not 22 Savage either.
Randy said he bought that life.
I was Randy Savage. I'll always be Randy Savage, but I had to change the name for business reasons, just for personal reasons of not wanting that to be how I was portrayed through my music or whatever, because it just wouldn't even match my music.
I don't want it to be like a bite-off thing where people are assuming.
Right. I've been doing this
before they got in diapers, huh?
Right. But yeah, so I started thinking about the name, and Bullet Jones came to me real fast. My dad called me Bullet like my whole life. I don't know where he got that from, but since I was a baby, since before I was born, he'd been calling me Bullet. I'm a grown ass man, and to this day, he'll text me or he'll call me, and he'll call me Bullet.
What's up, Bullet?
Yeah. What's up?
What's up, little Bullet?
So so I was like. Then also, like, I decided, like, I wanted to really, like, before I really just made, like, dope-ass rap music.
Right.
It was
stuff that you can move to.
Not necessarily, like, one style. Like, it was just kind of all over the place, but I knew I could do anything, so I did.
Right.
And so, but this time I really wanted to, like, brand myself, through my name, through my sound, all that. So I really wanted to go back to, like, them southern, like, country roots.
Nice.
Like the whole country rap tune style. Like I definitely want to like incorporate my passion for country music into my music. Not so much on that hip hop or like Yellow Wolf thing, but just if you listen to a lot of country music and then you listen to my music, you see it all up in
the same kind of storytelling. Right.
There's a lot of storytelling. I make references to country music songs and stuff. But so what I'm getting at is, I wanted like a kind of country sounding name. I wanted to pay homage to some of the greats in both of the genres that I love.
Very nice.
And then you got Nasir Jones, and then you got George Jones, who's considered one of the kings of country music. And so you got both of them Jones. You put Bullet in front of Jones, that shit sounds country. It
just go together.
Yeah, it just go together. So I was like, you know what? There we go, Bullet Jones.
That is very dope. I ran it by
a couple people. They said they liked it. And you could see it in their face too. When I told them, they sat and they thought about it like they was tasting this shit or something.
Yeah, like they had to. Like, they saw the double intentions in it.
That's dope. So, and then when I explained the name to them, they like it that much more. So, But yeah, that's where it came from, though.
I think that is so cool to be able to kind of go back into the family bonding and take a childhood nickname from dad, and then to really sit back and evaluate and respect two different cultures and really kind of bring in that symbolicness from country music back into hip hop and go, okay, these are two of my favorite influences. This is what it is. It's perfect. I love Bullet Jones for the reason that it still allows you to be solely who you are.
Right.
You're still not trying to create a character for your performances. It's saying, this is exactly who I am.
Facts.
And I want you guys to take me as I am and see me as I am with no confusion. I think that is really, really cool.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Now, with Real Profit, I know that you guys have been working on a lot of stuff so far as the new project, singles. I see that you're doing your thing with video shoots. You and Baton have collaborated. I see.
Shout out Baton.
Shout out to my boy. Shout out to Donsonville. Shout out to Real Profit. You guys always. I think Baton might be in the building, y'all. Is he in the corner?
Anyway, it sounded like
that was the intro to the song, y'all. But anyway. 2018 seems to be like a big year. Coming into 2017, you're getting your feet back on the ground. You got back in the open mics and showcases. You find yourself back in the booth again, kind of restructuring your brand, your artistry, your sound. 2018, what'll be different? Are we going to get that same raw content and storytelling, or do we get a little bit more? Is it a different direction that you're taking?
Blue Collar Blues is the album I'm working on for this year. So first of all, 2018 is all the work I put in 2017 and the early part of this year.
Nice.
Is when all of that is gonna, see the light of day. Everybody, you get to
taste it for yourself.
Right. And so Blue Collar Blues was something that I came up with the concept of Blue Collar Blues for an album in 2012.
Very nice.
And I did not start recording anything for Blue Collar Blues until, with the exception of one hook on a YouTube beat. We having another beat made for it, and that song will also be on the album.
Very nice.
But with the exception of that one hook on a beat that wasn't even mine to use, I didn't record anything for that project until last year.
Okay.
So I mean, it was like 5 years of just dreaming about it. It was just like
perfect,
and it's just been my baby. Just I always knew Blue Collar Blues is gonna be a thing, and when it is, it's gonna be a really good thing. And so yeah, there's a lot of Blue Collar Blues is got a lot of very raw and real and true to me and who I am. I came up on, like, I won't even say so much I came up on it, but I also enjoy the other side of hip hop too,
right.
Just the fun side, just the
where
cool,
you can
just the
lay
laid
back and party.
Yeah. So it'll be in the future that all my music won't be so heavy like
right.
this project may be, but this is kind of like Blue Collar Blues is kind of like an explanation of where Randy Savage went and who Bullet Jones is coming
Very
back.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean that's what it is. But yeah, we got that coming. Hopefully this summer is when we shooting for. We got the, like I said, we got the Blue Collar Blues video is out on
right now.
YouTube right now.
Make sure you check out the review also on the Nerdy Bird site. Very, very dope video. Love the song, you guys. It's worth clicking, subscribing, and linking into.
So we got that. Then we got a couple more things up our sleeves that we're working on. Couple more videos coming pretty soon.
Nice.
We got the video I did with Baton for his single Poverty. And he's got his album coming, I believe this summer as well. So
I guess we could just say Real Profit is about to hit the ground as an industry and like make some power moves here.
2018 is gonna be a big year for Real Profit.
Nice. I know for a long time you guys, and I'm not going to say it was a retirement thing, but I know for a long time it was other things that kind of had your attention, and not just you personally, but the Real Profit family, from giving back in the community and making sure that certain things were done in media aspects and just kind of being in the community to kind of get all the artists, the underground artists involved in the movement. I'm excited to see the diversity that's going to come out of Real Profit. You get that street culture, you get storytelling, you get conscious music, And it all ties back into just really great production, and you guys really carry yourselves as family. So I think that is really, really cool. If you guys are not familiar with Real Profit, make sure you click in, tune in, get updated, see what the hype is about, because all of these great artists are not just blowing smoke. It has to be something magical that happens with the Real Profit industry. So make sure you guys check that out. Now, Blue Collar Blues. Why Blue Collar Blues? We talk about it all the time. We know that it's really just an overall explanation of how Randy Savage came into being and where he went, how Bullet Jones came into his play, and where his role is going to take. When you said you worked on it for a while, you knew it was going to be a thing, what does it mean for you? What is that title, Blue Collar Blues? What's the real hidden meaning behind it?
It's just you know, there's definitely a side of like blue collar work where you can make a killing, like, but for the most part, like most people who work in those industries that would be considered blue collar is just it's like check to check, day to day, you know, week to week thing. It's like you know, I have to wait till next week to pay my rent, and I'm gonna pay all these late fees just because I gotta keep the lights on.
Right, I have to.
You know what I mean? So, and that's basically what my life has been like. Pretty much my whole adult life.
Right.
So especially, you know, since I've been living on my own, had my own bills to pay, that's just what it's been. It's been a big reason for why I had to go, like why I had to stop making music for a while. It's just a part of who I am. You know, I feel like it's a part of who 80%
of the
or
world
more
is.
of us are.
Right.
So I feel like it's very relatable topics, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, the name just came to me one day and I was like, this is perfect.
That's it.
Because it's definitely not, there's definitely some blues to the blue collar shit.
Right,
so,
and
like,
you don't have to oversell it. Like you said, people relate, you know.
Right.
I don't know too many working class people, and that's, you know, just anybody that has to be responsible for themselves, or that have the opportunity or are gifted with kids and now have the responsibility to take care and provide for them as well. I completely agree. Like, listening to Blue Collar Blues, there's not much that I can't relate to, you know what I'm saying? I'm a hustler by any means. You see me with a mic in my hand, you see me behind the camera lens, you see me cutting flowers at my day job. It just depends, but I understand that to make things and make ends meet, it is a struggle a lot of times when it's you doing it by yourself. So I've always respected your artistry. I've always respected the new single, of course, I love, which is why I did the review on it, because it is so real, it's so authentic, and it's so relatable, you know? Right. You don't have to oversell it or undersell it. You could just simply say, hey, this is what it is. Either you relate or you don't. And majority of the world, like, they relate.
Right. Yeah. See, that's just exactly what I was going for. I've always been a fan of like music that I can relate to.
Right.
You know, everybody enjoys like the fun stuff, but like the music that really gets me the most is the stuff that I can relate to, the stuff that I can say, hey, that sounds like me.
Right,
that sounds like something
think.
I've been through. And so like that's the type of music that inspired me. So that's the type of music that I want to make.
Wonderful.
For the most part.
Good. I think the younger generation needs the positive music, you know.
Right.
Our generation, and I think we've talked about it before, we're kind of like the healthy balance. We grew up pencil paper, where we had to learn how to do stuff manually.
Right.
Then we came into that computer era where we kind of are growing in technology as we go. Well, the younger generation, they're all technology based, so they kind of don't have a real sense of reality, in my opinion. And it's not everybody, it's just kind of the way they see videos and interpret music. They take it like it's real life, where our generation kind of took it for what it was.
Right, exactly.
So I appreciate the fact that you're able to lay out a platform where your music is relatable, it's vibable, but it's real. Like, it's saying, hey, you don't have to be a drug dealer for this purpose, or to be successful, you don't have to carry yourself like this. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to say, hey, I don't know if my light's gonna get cut out tomorrow, or if I'm gonna have a meal after I eat lunch today.
Right.
But the world understands that there are people that no matter how hard they work, it's just that hole that they can't fill.
Right.
And I appreciate your music being that entity that teaches people you can express yourself, and it doesn't always have to be in the admiration for gold or money or wealth or drugs or women. You could work just as hard with the intention to just do better for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. That's all it is. Like I've always found it. I mean, I think that just like goes back to what I was saying. It just makes music a lot more relatable. Like we all love listening to Jay talking about the stuff he was talking about back in the day. But like,
of course.
Man, I didn't have no Lexus sitting on top of a parking garage and all that gold and diamonds on my neck. I didn't have none of that. It sounded cool, it looked cool, but I didn't have that. So when he went to his more introspective stuff every now and then, you know, I honestly didn't listen to Eminem until I was a grown man. But people like Eminem.
You sound like me. I didn't really get into Eminem until I was like late in high school.
Right. People like Eminem though, who give you that raw, like, you know, introspective. Sometimes you sound crazy as shit,
right.
And sometimes the stuff you saying ain't the cool shit to say, but it's real though.
Right.
You know, so it's stuff like that I just try to, you know, I try to bring to the table.
Now I'm going to ask this only because you opened that door. All right. Are you often compared to Eminem? You know, so far as culture and acceptance goes, Eminem is probably one of the only white boys that I know, you know, no offense for racial lines, that could pick up a mic in a room filled with African Americans, say what he wants to say and drop the mic and probably get a standing ovation. Do you find that you're compared to him?
But other than, I mean, you can put me in a room with anybody,
right?
And I feel like that would happen. But
I like that.
I used to get a lot of Eminem comparisons. I think now that the industry as a whole has begun to be like more like
accepting
whitewash. I mean, we all saw that post that Nicki made and then deleted, where the top 10 on iTunes was like 9 white artists,
right?
And half of them, if not more than half, were trash,
right?
But that's another topic. But yeah, I've been compared to Eminem in the past, just for the obvious reasons.
Right.
But I don't think musically, if you listen to my music, maybe if you're going off of the real raw reality, you could draw those comparisons. But other than that, you're gonna find a lot of artists that you would compare me to, or you say that you might hear or whatever, before you would say Eminem.
Very nice. I just wanted to clarify, because I know some people look at it.
I think that since you've started to see more white rappers come along, like and get bigger, I don't really hear those comparisons too often anymore, and I hated them. That's why I used to get compared to Eminem before I even rapped. And that's why I legitimately could not stand Eminem for that.
Because you had a little beef.
That's why I never listened to him. You know, I heard the real Slim Shady and all the stuff that was on the radio, but like, I didn't like that dude. You couldn't have told me a good word about him. I wasn't trying to hear it.
Randy said, "Stop comparing me to this man. I don't even know this man."
Yeah. But you know, I finally gave him a chance when I got older, and he definitely can rap his ass off.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I think, and the pressure of culture can do that to you, and that's why I love the fact that even, reverting back to the new name, Bullet Jones, I love that you finally kind of came into that sense of maturity, and it's like, doesn't matter who you compare me to, doesn't matter what you think about me, it doesn't matter what you think about what I say. I'm gonna say it because it's self-expression, and the world needs to hear it. Now, I think that's important. Now, we've already kind of covered the new project, what's going on 2018. I know that you have some live performances coming up, but you could just tell them again where to follow you on social media so they can kind of stay updated with you.
All right, you can follow me at I Am Bullet Jones. That's like bullet, like that comes out a gun, and Jones, Jones. So any social media, you can find me at I Am Bullet Jones.
Yeah, I'm trying to strong arm Real Profit right now to get a feature, but they're trying to charge me too much.
Hey.
No, I'm just joking, y'all. But no, real talk. I am really, really excited about the new project. I look forward to the new video dropping with B-Thong. I know that's something that you guys have worked really hard on. Outside of that, I'm just anticipating Blue Collar Blues. I know that you've taken years to kind of perfect the overall layout and foundation for it, and you're taking your time kind of structuring the songs for release this summer. I'm ready to get my jam on, so, anybody in working class, y'all can relate. I'm sure you can relate, and even outside of that, like, it's just really good music. Now, is there any shout outs you want to do, or anybody you want to kind of give a little bit of love before we get ready to wrap up?
Damn, it's too many people. It's too many people.
So I can't call y'all by name.
Yeah, I can't call you by name. But
he says, shout y'all
out. Everybody I got love for, know I got love for them. So shout out to y'all. And man, shout out to me. Shout out to you, Tubbi. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to everybody else. Shout out to everybody in Baton Rouge that's really doing their thing. That's really, in this area that's really doing their thing.
Helping the scene.
Yeah, shout out to my daddy for calling me Bullet. Shout out to my mama for letting me listen to rap music that I shouldn't have been listening to at 7, 8 years old.
Nice. It's a stepping stones.
Shout out to Jay-Z and Pimp C, my two biggest inspirations in his music, in his rap music. Man, shout out to Nas and George Jones for lending me that half of that name. Shout out to everybody, man.
Everybody that makes a difference.
like you hear people say, I just want to see everybody win. So shout out to everybody.
That's what's up. You guys, we are bringing exclusives right here thanks to theantidote.com. It was an absolute pleasure to be able to sit down and pick your brain, Mr. Randy Savage, a.k.a. Bullet Jones. Got to put that out there, y'all. Make sure that y'all link in with Mr. Bullet Jones. Check out the new projects. Check out the new videos. And stay tuned for Blue Collar Blues, courtesy of Real Profit Entertainment. It's your girl, Tubbi of the Nerdy Bird site, and I'm trying to get my feature Real Profit. What's up?